Have you ever heard of a Stromboli? It's okay if you haven't because it's not that common. Essentially, it's a rolled up baked pizza full of lovely things like pepperoni and double smoked ham, and I'm going to make it from scratch, including the dough. So let's get onto the dough first. I'm doing mine in a mixer, but you can do this by hand. And I'm also using some wholemeal pizza flour for this. You don't have to, you can use plain flour. I just really like the nutty flavour of wholemeal pizza flour. I've also got a dough hook attached, and that's just going to help knead everything together. A really good pinch of salt. Nothing worse than dough that hasn't been seasoned correctly. It doesn't taste like anything, so a good pinch of salt. Okay, next we're going to add this little concoction here, which is a combination of sugar, dried active yeast, and some warm water. That combination creates this, and this is the activated yeast, which is going to give our pizza dough a lovely texture. So once it's bubbling up like that, and that takes about 15 to 20 minutes, we can add it to our bowl. Really be sure to scrape all of that yeast in there. Okay. We'll place the dough hook down. Now I'll start mixing this together and then I'll add some water. You need the water to be warm so it activates the yeast even more and just so that dough really comes together nicely. So this is going to take about 5 minutes. If you want to do this by hand, no problems. You just need to knead it for at least 10 to 15 minutes until we have a really soft, bouncy dough. All right, this mixer has been working hard. We've got a lovely soft dough. It's come away from the sides, which is what we're after. And we'll just take it out of this bowl. And I like to place this into another bowl. This one's actually been oiled, just so it doesn't stick too much. In it goes. Cover it with some Glad wrap, and this needs to rest and prove for about 1.5 to 2 hours or until it doubles. So I recommend placing this in a warm spot in the kitchen so it proves even faster. Okay, while that proves, let's get on to the fillings. There's going to be lots of cheese like mozzarella, tomato-based sauce, and our deli cut. So I've got double smoked leg ham and some pepperoni salami. I love pepperoni salami in this. And this one's medium in heat, so not too spicy, but it's still got a slight kick to it. And it's perfect for any type of pizza, including this one. So I'm going to slice these super, super thin so it's easy to roll up. Okay, the dough has doubled in size. Have a look at this. Isn't it a lovely thing? Now I have to knock this back. So you can use wholemeal flour again, or you can use a little bit of fine semolina, which is my preference. I kind of like the crunchy texture of it, and just also on your hands too. And then we're just going to scoop our dough out. Oh, it's lovely and soft. And just press it down. And what we're trying to achieve here is a large rectangle. And I'm going to roll it on my flat tray, just so I don't have to transfer it later on. So on it goes. You want it to be roughly 40 centimetres by 30 centimetres, so a large rectangle. So with a rolling pin, we're going to roll that out. It's okay if it goes over the sides of the flat tray because it is going to be rolled up into a log. Okay, just a little more on this side, and that's our Stromboli base. Okay. Happy with that. Now for the fun part, which is filling it up. I've got a little bit of passata sauce here. So what I've done with my passata is just added a little garlic and fried that off for about 30 seconds. Add the tomato puree or passata and cook it down. I really want that rich flavour. So as if you were making a classic pizza, we're going to spread that all on the base, just leaving a little bit of a border. And if you've got any leftover sauce, by all means, freeze it for the next time you want to make your pizza or another Stromboli. I like the addition of some extra oregano, so a sprinkle of oregano, fantastic. And now for our lovely deli cuts, our pepperoni. You can see how paper thin I slice the pepperoni. The thinner it is, the more you can add to it. You want it to be as thin as our ham because you want it to roll really easily. So we want to be quite generous with it and cover the base of it. This is all about the filling here, so please be generous. Okay, onto the ham. And we'll use our double smoked ham. And we want about 100 grams of thin slices of ham. Okay, and we just want to drape that all over there, covering that pepperoni. And you want about 12 of these thin slices. All right, next for the cheese, lots of mozzarella. We'll just sprinkle that over the top. And look, you can be creative here. If you like, you could add some olives, some mushrooms would be fantastic. All those classic flavors that you find on your favorite pizza. All right, last cheese that I like to add is some parmesan. So a good sprinkling of parmesan. All right. We are now ready to roll this. So I'm actually going to start from the top this time and we'll just roughly roll it. You can tuck in the sides too, keep rolling. So we've got quite a large, very full log. And ideally you want the seam side to be on the base. So we'll just pop that in the center and then that looks pretty good. Okay, the last thing we need to do is whisk 1 egg, just so all of that egg yolk and egg white combine, and we're just going to use that as the egg wash, just a small amount so it's lovely and glossy over the top. Now I've preheated my oven. You want it to be really hot, so I've got mine at 220 degrees, and this goes into the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes or until it's lovely and golden brown. Another little thing that I like to do right at the end is just sprinkle this with some extra oregano to make it look quite pretty. All right, in it goes. Well, I'm pretty impressed with this loaf. It's golden brown. You can see some of the cheese is oozed out on the base. That's totally fine. Do allow it to cool before you slice into it. So it's still a little bit warm. It's been sitting here for about 15 minutes. And I'm going to carefully place it onto a chopping board so we can cut into it. And this is one of those dishes that I love to do on a cold winter's day, on the weekend, where you want to make pizzas at home and you want to do something a little bit different. So listen to this. It just sounds like a standard loaf, doesn't it? But then you get this stunning surprise in the center. Lots of cheese, lots of pepperoni, salami, and ham. And you want to cut this into about 2 to 3 centimetre pieces. In America, they actually serve this with a side of Napoli sauce. But you know what? I don't think it needs it. This is just delicious as is. You really want to taste all of that pepperoni that we've added to that and the ham. Stromboli. Now you know what it is.